Here he is, Nick Riewoldt.
Yeah.
Always lovely to see you, Nick.
Oh, how good.
Good for you,
Great
too.
for me.
Hey, as the weekend comes
any
in.
excuse, just keep adding line items to those workers' permits. Be able to get out of the house.
And another thing I do on Wednesdays. You are very busy as we still look forward to Celebrity MasterChef, which must be on the horizon.
It's I think I think it's either Survivor or The Bachelor or one of those
Finishes.
then
It's
roll.
the next one.
It's the next one. So we're next cab off the rank. Been getting a bit done in the kitchen at home too. I've been inspired.
It's
by the whole
inspired you, hasn't
experience.
it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Will is a massive Ross Lyon fan.
As are you, Nick.
Oh, well, that makes
As
two
a
of us.
unit.
Yeah.
I thought it was... Well, have we got the grab there?
Yeah, we do.
From Footy Classifieds on, was it Monday night? Is that is
Yeah.
that Footy Classified?
I think
Tuesday
Ross did on
night.
Wednesday nights. Wednesdays.
Yeah, this would have been yesterday we were talking about, Ross. It
Yeah,
was.
it was just. I felt it was unusual to hear a bloke with Ross's credentials soliciting for a job live on air.
Let's have a listen to it.
Has Collingwood spoken to you?
Informally, and it's not really breaking contact. I don't think Graham Wright would mind. Graham reached out to a friend to get my number. He could get it anywhere, but and I was aware that I just said respectfully, I'm not. I wouldn't entertain that for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
What are those reasons?
Well, it's hard to articulate it all. Sometimes it's just chemistry.
And then to quote Ross on Carlton, he said that if an opportunity arose, and I say that with the greatest respect for Carlton, and they rang me, I would entertain it.
That's the bit I don't like.
You don't like that?
No, not while David Teague's going through the process he's going through.
I think he did go on to speak about David Teague and respect for him and
That's
and
the bit I don't
situation.
like.
Yeah.
I don't like people positioning themselves for a job when there's another bloke in a job.
Hold on, let me put a helmet on.
You can borrow mine for
I just saw a side of you I hadn't seen before.
No, I just don't like it. And I know you're a massive Ross Lyon fan. I know his departure from St Kilda at the time was a little unpopular and a little unsettling for the playing group.
It was a little surprising at the time.
So I wonder why everyone at St Kilda is as loyal to Ross as they are.
Because we know what really happened.
Right. See, I don't.
So we know what happened, and
it wasn't just about money.
Well, there was a bit of that. There was a bit about respect for what had gone on previously with what Ross had been able to achieve with our group, and probably a lack of respect coming back the other way from the football club.
Interesting.
But the way I found out that Ross was leaving was I went in for surgery on it was just a minor sort of cleanup, and then woke up to have the coach at the foot of my bed.
And he was informing you man to man.
Well, I thought, what a guy.
Nice.
He's come in to check on the
flowers.
skipper and see if he's okay after his surgery. And I sort of woke up and he told me that he was off to Freo, and it did come as a little bit of a surprise. But he's a great coach. I think he's been resolute all year in saying that he wasn't going to entertain coaching at all. He'd moved on. That chapter of his life was done. But I think he's been pretty honest and transparent recently with with just a change of thought. And it's a tricky situation when you are in the media and you're expected to comment. If he continued that narrative of, well, I'm not interested, but everywhere in the background, I mean, we know what footy leaks in media are like, in the media are like. It's going to come out if he's having conversations. And if he's saying, no, I'm not, but we know he's having those conversations, you probably lose a little bit of credibility there. So,
what are his strengths as a coach, Nick?
Well, I think his number one asset is his ability to create a high-performing environment where there is just such strong accountability and buy-in from a playing group.
Right.
That ultimately,
so the players love him.
Oh yeah, and there's tough love associated with Rossi,
because I thought he might have lost a couple of dressing rooms over the years. That is an outside view of him.
Yeah, well, I think if you speak to the core of our group that came through at St Kilda with Rossi, and the same with the group at Fremantle, they would have nothing but praise for him. But there's a hard edge to Rossi as a coach, which isn't for everyone. And you probably lose a few along the way, but those that are really going to dig in and be the core of what you want to achieve anyway are pretty strong disciples of Rossi.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting.
he's got incredible attributes as a coach and as a leader of men. Most importantly,
I don't want to annoy you in any way, but I sometimes look at Ross and think there's a smugness about him that's a bit hard to wear.
oh, gosh, wow, he's one of Triple M's own too.
Is he?
Yeah,
You'd be surprised how much
think
I
he's-
like him, Nick.
I
now
think
that
he's
I've had a
on. I
chance.
actually think he's.
Sunday
Is he
huddle.
Triple
They're
M's
doing
own?
a Friday rub. He's due in about 18 minutes.
Rosie, why didn't you tell me he's one of ours?
I've been calling him Triple M's Ross Lyon.
Oh, did they?
Will has mentioned it a few times this week.
No,
When I
you-
said
I will
smug, I
say
was mucking
smugness.
around.
No, your smugness. You got to meet him.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
Agreed.
No, I'm not going.
He's one of the great men.
No. He should be at Fox.
On that cheery note,
Play Queen and David Bowie. Nick Riewoldt with us this morning. Back with more next on the
Well,
Marty
we-
Sheargold Show.
ambushed.
You can take your helmet off now. Nick Riewoldt's with us
Yes,
this morning.
just got a text from Rossi.
Yeah.
Feel better now?
Happy with that chat, was he?
He was wrapped. Said, thanks for the glowing endorsement. He said, you're part of the Carlton coaching selection panel.
No, I'm not. And I look, I think, having just had a chat with you off air, maybe I've been too hard on Ross.
Yeah.
I'm not too proud to say that I've been wrong over the years.
We're all wrong at times.
Yeah, I mean, you're just
Mate.
really winding Will up.
I
That's
like
what it was
Ross
about.
now that I've had a real chance to think about it. Triple M's Ross. Line. Pointy end of the year, Nick.
Yeah.
Massively pointy. Doesn't get any pointier.
No, it doesn't. And there are
A couple of meaningful games here.
some really big ones. Tonight, it doesn't really get much bigger than tonight for both sides. So the Bulldogs, there's an amazing year as they've had, and that midfield that we spoke about at the start of the year being potentially one of the best ever. They've been pretty poor over the past month and put themselves in a situation now where they lose and they can potentially slip out of the top four.
And history tells us that makes it very hard to win a flag.
Yeah, it does. It makes it. I mean, they did it in 2016 where they came from, I think, 6th or 7th it was. So they've done it before, but if it's more about how they play tonight, because at the moment their midfield are really struggling, despite the fact that they've got such big names through that part of the ground. So really, you can win tonight, you can lose tonight. It's more about how they go, like how they actually play, and whether they can get their game back, because they're going to need it come finals time. So they can slip out to 5th. And then Port Adelaide, if they win tonight, they can secure top 2 and then potentially home finals all the way through. Because you look at some of the venues that have been thrown up, it's really sort of Brisbane, Hobart and Adelaide for the first 3 weeks of finals, or 2 or 3 weeks of finals. And if
Well,
Port
we're
Adela-
locked down this weekend, absolutely guaranteed.
Yep.
And the speed that we sort of, discover the path out usually takes at least 2, 3, 4 weeks.
So Port Adelaide in the box
They're going
seat
to play a
to be
lot
able
of
to
home games.
play home finals right the way through if they can secure top 2. So that's a ripper. Geelong, Melbourne's a beauty as well, but both of those sides are pretty much squared away in the top 4. So that'll be interesting.
You still want to win those.
You want to win and you want to play well, but the most important thing is you want to get through unscathed. You don't want any injuries. So it reminds me a little bit. There's another Ross Lyon story for you. So
Well, let me get me pen. Hang on.
yeah, 2010, I think it was. We were coming into the final series, and the last game of the year, we played Adelaide in Adelaide, and it got to the last quarter, and I think we'd secured the win, I think. But Ross Lyon, at 3/4 time anyway, said no injuries. So clearly we can't pull you all off the ground. But if I see a player run in the last quarter, not change direction, I don't want to see anyone run. If I see anyone run, you're going to get dragged.
It's a trot.
Yeah, no. Just stand still. Just call
walk.
for the ball. Just walk. Yeah, there was nothing to gain in the line, and he just didn't want anyone to get hurt. And Brett Peake, the ball spills out, and he charges after it. He has a bounce. He's running down the wing. How good am I? And dragged.
Oh, you're serious. He was
He was
serious.
properly serious. No
Jesus.
injuries. So it'd be interesting to see what Geelong and Melbourne do with their sides this week. But
I think you've forgotten Adelaide and North.
yeah,
Just one for the ages there. They've given us the 4:40 slot on Sunday, which seems a little off Broadway for mine, but that's the AFL.
Yeah, it is. I mean, every other game really has some sort of ramification. Giants win and they're in against Carlton. Essendon win and they're in against Collingwood. Brisbane West Coast.
Gee, that'll be a good game, Essendon Collingwood, won't it?
That will be good. Yeah.
Because they traditionally do not like each other.
And what better way for Collingwood to finish a pretty poor season than to derail Essendon's tilt on the finals. Richmond Hawthorn's going to be great, all for the sentimentality around that one. So clearly Alistair Clarkson's last game as a Hawthorn coach.
There's a lot of guys going from that game.
Sean Burgoyne last game, 407th. Basher, David Asprey from the Tigers. So there'll be a lot of emotion.
Where is
around.
that game?
That's at the G.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blokes, you know.
Grass and goalposts, really, without a crowd, isn't it?
But there's still some awful grounds to have your last game of football.
Yeah.
I mean,
would you rather, because those obviously MCG both.
Are you going to
those
ask
teams-
me nipples for fingers or fingers for nipples? Because it's fingers for nipples.
Fingers for nipples. All right, let me process that. I'll come back to you.
No, would you rather?
I was about to dive into a big tribute to Alistair Clarkson and Sean
Please
Burgoyne,
do.
but this is better.
But would you rather?
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Have fingers for nipples. Would you rather play it at an empty MCG?
Yeah.
Or would you rather say go to Perth and play that as your last game in front of a packed
every day of the
house?
week.
Yeah.
That's
I think that's the way we're leaning for finals.
I'm a
anyway.
glutton for a crowd.
Yeah. Well, it's just that much harder to generate your own enthusiasm. It is an interesting time of the year, though. There's so many players out there from all clubs that are finishing up, and you can't help but sort of cast your mind back to that weird feeling of
Yes,
knowing
how did you feel in that lead up to your last game?
Staring your football mortality in the face.
It's been there hovering on the horizon forever as well, because you're one knee injury away from the end of everything anyway. So you've always got that hanging over you in some way.
Yeah, but you never really entertain it until it is the end. And it's a strange
the last
feeling.
Monday meeting. It's the last video session. It's the last Thursday
And that's
ball
what you were
work.
thinking. This is the last time I'll stand in the shower and then finish on a bit of cold water to get the endorphins going before I then put my clothes on. And this is the last time I'm going to drive to the ground. This is the last time I'm going to listen to this song before a game. Last time I'm going to walk through the change rooms and shake the property steward, hand.
And it's never the same, is it?
Never the same.
As a past player, even if you're invited back into the room.
When you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
And you are out in the cold. It is stark and it's a little bit confronting.
Totally.
A little bit
I mean, it's
confronting.
been your whole life. You've been managed and organised and told where to turn up and all of that stuff.
But that being said, life's not as bad. So for all of those guys that are facing the end this week, life's not as bad on the other side as you think it's going to be.
Well, and they're mature as well. It's very different to taking this dream away from a 22-year-old.
That's it. Well, I mean, if you are getting towards the end and you're one of those celebrated guys that we're talking about, like Eddie Betts, I mean, you've had a pretty good go at it.
You've had a massive crack at it. I mean, Burgoyne,
incredible.
Unbelievable career.
Yeah, incredible.
All right, mate. Have a lovely weekend. Lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, chat to you next week.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Triple M.